In the explosive new report, the New York Times says the conversation happened last spring. President Trump telling then White House counsel Don McGahn that he wanted the Justice Department to prosecute Hillary Clinton and former FBI Director James Comey. The newspaper cites two people familiar with the conversation. The Times says McGahn told the president he had no authority to order that, and that White House lawyers drafted a memo for the president that if he asked law enforcement to investigate his rivals, he could face a range of consequences, including possible impeachment. Even as a presidential candidate, Mr. Trump hinted at ordering an investigation into Clinton.
But if I win, I am going to instruct my attorney general to get a special prosecutor to look into your situation.
And the new report raising more questions about the president's tense relationship with his Justice Department, including firing Attorney General Jeff Sessions, to new fears from Democrats that his replacement, Matt Whitaker, might curtail the Mueller investigation.
It's going to be up to him. I think he's very well aware politically. I really believe he's going to do what's right.
Neither the White House nor Don McGahn responded to our requests for comment. All of this comes as the president and his legal team say they have submitted written answers to special counsel Robert Mueller, though they say much of it was, quote, beyond the scope of legitimate inquiry.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.